Hello everyone, this is Suresh here. So in this Google Cloud Lab session, we will look into deploy a BigQuery ML customer churn classifier to Vertex AI for online predictions. So without any delay, let me start the lab. And in this lab, we are not going to discuss anything theoretical or technical because 1.5 hours may not be, or 90 minutes may not be sufficient for us. So what we are going to do is like we are going to complete the task provided for us in this lab. Okay, so without further delay, let me start up with the so at any point, if you want to understand, you can pause the video and go through the steps that is provided in the lab. So you can pause the video and get it. Get this here is the overview and lab architecture. Okay, so this you can see this lab is inspired by this. You can search this across if you want. Okay, and here are all the objectives of this lab. Now setup is done. Let me activate the cloud shell as well. We can continue. Okay. So let's complete this optional steps as well. List, authorize. You can see the student is active, looking good, and also to ensure the project is correctly configured. Is also looking good, no issues. Okay, let's enable task one. Let's enable the services. In task two, let's deploy. So let's navigate. So services are done. Okay, let's navigate to Vertex AI, workbench. You open this in a separate window for larger view. Close it over here. Okay. So here in the user managed notebooks, click create new. So let's do that once this is available. Click create new, and I will change the name to some lab workbench. And this is in US East Port. You can see this in step 4. US East Port and US East zone will be East Sea zone. Okay. Now let's continue. And here by default this is selecting 2.11. Should be good with this. 2.16 and 17 is available. We will go with the latest. Okay. And rest all is default settings. So let's directly go ahead and click on create. It's deprecated. Okay, this is from 2025. That's fine. Confirm. So now it will take 2 to 3 minutes. So I'll pause the video and come back once this is all. Oh, it took about 5 minutes. So let me, without any delay, let me open the Jupyter lab and also in parallel, we can check the progress. So as this is it, let's move on to the task 3. You can clone this to your local setup as well. So this will take about less than a minute to get the clone from the Git repository. Let's check the progress as well. Looking good. So let's navigate to this training data analyst, quests, Vertex AI, Vertex BQML, and lab exercise. Okay. So now there is no steps. Let's check it. Okay, fine. What I will do is like I will make sure this is having a large. Okay, so I'm not going to explain these things, but I would recommend you to learn these objectives and do the introduction. So this is about the introduction. We can pause the video and get into that. Here, this from here we'll start. Shift enter. Here we can see some information about the Google Cloud AI platform by Arrow and upgrading the BigQuery Cloud, Google Cloud BigQuery storage and cloud storage and data types. Okay, this is done. So here we restart the kernel. Okay, let's do the same. Restart the kernel. Restart. Done. Here we are getting the project ID. And if you want to see what the project ID is, maybe I will we can add the same. Okay, you can see the project ID. Looking good. Same way, BigQuery location is going to be US and the region is going to be central one. Okay. So importing the library for BigQuery and AI platform as well, Vertex AI, all the libraries required. And defining the GCS bucket name, Google Cloud Services bucket, and creating the bucket. EMB means make bucket. So basically in this region, if you want to see that, you can navigate to that location. Let me go here. It's the cloud storage buckets. Okay, you can see the buckets here. So this is the exact bucket. It got created. HTML GF4. Let's see here. Yeah, you can see the project ID hyphen BQML GF4. Similarly, so let's check the data set. Okay, after this. BigQuery dataset name is defined and we can see BigQuery dataset is going to get created. So to look into that as well, you can navigate to BigQuery. Okay, let's open the BigQuery here. I'm done. You can see BQML GA4. This is the dataset got created. Okay, now if you check the progress as well, this should be fast. See, XGBoost check. Now let's initiate the SDK for Vertex AI. Okay, so here project ID, BigQuery project ID, select star from Firebase public project dot analytics dot events. Okay, so let's raw event data set. Okay, this is completed, and we see some information, some sample information from that data set. Okay, now I recommend you to pause the video and go through this information. Now we are going to use a distinct users pseudo code, pseudo ID in the times. All you can see is the queries. Maybe if you refresh or something, you can see this information over here. Yeah, right. I'm not sure in this lab we are going to create. Okay, let's go back to the. Okay, now you can see there are about count of 15, almost 15K users. Okay, dataset preparation in BigQuery. So go through this. Okay, so this is the information and this is the code. I'm not here to explain the code, but if you are interested, either you can clone the repository and go to this location and check this. So let's mix with the code. So we have received about 100 rows and 9 columns. You can see the columns. Now see, let's see the bounced, churned, and count of churn in the user churn. Here is the inference for the training data we end up using where bounced is 0. Based on 15K users, you can see about 45.1% those for the first. So you can get the inference from the set. So let's move on to the next code. Now this is to calculate the churn rate for 0.23%. Extract demographic features. Similarly, aggregate user behavior features. See, I'm not explaining all these things because you can go to pause the video and go through this. So we can see the event name and event count as well. Okay. Now in the query below, we can see the behavioral aggregation by calculating the total number of times. Let's do that. Okay. Set to click post store virtual currency add to reward. Okay. Now prepare your test train data sets for machine learning. Okay. So I'm not able to fit in a single screen for BigQuery. Uh, Slowly looking into it. Enter. Okay. This is the first based on one. Oh, we have the information. So we have in the last column you can see which is train data and test data has been so evaluation data. All three kinds of set has been split. To validate feature split, let's do this as well. Let's see the count. Yeah, now we got the count. So total number, and you can see the evaluation data and test data number of examples. Now this is the model name Churn XGB. Here you can see model name has been defined over here. Take about 18 minutes to train, and you can see this here. This TO provide a minimal demonstration of PML. This model 18 minutes. In practice, we generally take at least 10 trials per hyperparameter. Give this code. Okay, so as I mentioned, as we have seen that will take about 80 minutes, I'll pause the video now. And once this is completed, I will resume from here. Okay, if you see here, they have mentioned about it will take about 18 minutes to train, but it is going beyond that. It is almost 30 minutes, more than 30 minutes. You can see that query is executing for almost 1800 seconds. Okay, just now completed. Okay, looking good. Okay, completed. So it took about 18 minutes, almost 30 minutes, sorry, more than 30 minutes. And now when we train the info, you can see the learning rate hyperparameters. Now you can see that is optimal. Yes. All others are no. Okay. Now let's evaluate. Enter. So you can see in trial one, it is a precision, recall accuracy, FN score, log loss, and ROC AUC. All these are metrics. I hardly recommend for you to look into this. These are all very, very important metrics. So this is having a lot of concepts. So you need to understand. Using the default classification of threshold 0.5. Okay. Next, use the confusion matrix function. Okay, let's do that. So there is a detailed explanation about true positive, true negative, false positive, and false negative. So these are all metrics that is coming into our system. Okay. Now ROC, false positive date versus recall. You can see the false positive date. And if you want to see more explanation about this, let me go here. Select this, get into this thresholds and confusion matrix in the Google book. And also if you want to learn about the ROC curve, these are all much needed for you guys to understand what this lab is and what we are planning. Okay, now we got the ROC curve. Now let's global explain. Now we are looking to get ideas to improve the model. So for this, we are understanding the number of features and its attribution to it. Okay. Now batch prediction for ML feasibility data split. Now we are going to run in the test. The following query. Okay. Let's do this first. Probability of the user will return after 24 hours. Okay. So the higher the probability and the closer one is more likely the user is predicted to churn, and it is closer to 0, the more likely the user is predicted to return. Okay, let's see this. User ID, we have in the select statement, you can see we have the user ID, churn, predicted churn, and the probability. Okay. So all this table and all, you can go here and check here. You can see these are all the jobs that we have executed so far. You can see the data over here. You can see the lab and the jobs executed. Okay, so let's move on. Export a BQML model to Vertex AI online prediction. Okay, this is defining the model and export directory, location, exporting. Now let's get into this cloud. Bucket we already created over here. Let me open this. Okay, now you can see. Okay, let's see whether this is getting into this big data system. Churn XSD, assets. Okay, in Churn XGB we have two folders, and in assets we have categorical label, metadata, and label. So similarly, let's go back to the basic. We have the model as well. So let's use the load BQML model to Vertex AI from GCS. Image URI and model. You can see this model here in the Vertex AI. Let's see whether we can see it over here. The model registry. We should be able to see this. Are we using the central or east? model name, model export directory, image URI, project central one models. I'm checking the task type. This is done. And BigQuery also we have done this. So let's evaluate the BigQuery model. Looking good. Batch prediction. So let me wait for this to create the model. Once the model is created, then we'll continue the steps. So I'll pause the video for a minute. Okay, now you can see this is completed. It took some time. So this should be available in the AI platform. Model got created and we will deploy in the Vertex AI endpoint. I'm just checking whether we can see this here. I'm not sure why, or I'm looking into a different table. Yeah, here we got it. So this got imported. Mm, So this is to view in the console. Okay, we are ready to deploy. That's what we will do in the next step. And the batch prediction, we'll do it in next step. So this is where the version details are provided. So you can use this. So this artifact from the and the container and everything. Okay, let's do this next step. So now let's deploy this. Now this is where the deployment will happen. We'll get the endpoint here. So let's see how much time we have left here. It's in the lab. I've been for a long time. Okay, 1.5 hour lab. 1 hour is already gone. We have about 27. So let's do it. So this is the one of the reason we are not going to explain more details about the thing because the 1.5 hour lab to explain this whole code may not be feasible and it's really tough for us to complete it. That is the reason our objective is to only to explain the most of the code that is provided in the lab. But our part, what we have to do is like we have to understand, we can pause the video and get the explanation out of it. And we have to do our own research and then understand what this code actually does in each and every line of. So deploying the model back in. So let's wait for this step to end. Before completing this, still the endpoint has to get created. Before completing it, I just completed the task 7. So 180 by 180. But you still because this deployment is taking almost 4 to 5 minutes for now, and also we are running out of time. So if you see, we have only 23 minutes. I'm not sure whether we will be able to complete the lab on time. These are all working metrics. So okay, okay. First let this get completed, and we'll see in the meantime. Before the time run out, we'll be able to complete the lab. We have left with 17 minutes, and you can see the still it is deploying, and also in the Vertex AI, you can see it is as deploying model. Your model must be successfully deployed to an endpoint before you can test it. It's still deploying, so let me wait. Okay. Okay, now it is says as active. Let's see in the lab exercise. In online production, it's deploying. Online production, it's already done. We have seen this in our earlier steps. Okay, let me pause this. And once this is deployment is successful, we will let it up. Okay, so here we have left with 11 minutes and this deployment has been done. Let's see this in the endpoints. This, and you can see the deployment status is ready. Okay, so without any delays, this is the categorical features and importing the ordinal encoder and defining the feature encoders as well. I recommend you to pause the video and get into the details. Or you can download, clone the. Okay, so build categorical feature encoder system, preprocess XGBoost, build a dictionary of ordinal categories. That is done. And now execute the query. Test with the limit. Click. Okay, convert data frames from records to feature dictionaries. Done. Apply preprocess to transform categorical features and return numerical instructions and predictions. Done. Generate predictions. The model deploying Vertex AI endpoint. Okay, endpoint has been provided. Now the prediction we can see for a customer 0 not churn. Okay, all three are not churns, and he's from a different countries and areas. Okay, different geographical locations. Now, as the next steps, you can go through this. Yes, this is a very long video, but you were able to complete it within 1.5 hour time. So I recommend you to uh, clone the repository and go navigate to this location and get the file and read every step and the exact for better understanding the exact uh, key terms, terminologies, and navigate to everything that is provided over here. Okay, this concludes the session. Thank you very much and have a great day. Bye.